Howdy, how you all doing? This is SoloNic. Minus Solo, she's asleep on the bed. Let's talk terrain. So you're DMing a game and your party's moving through the wasteland and whatever, and you come to a ruined castle, and either you're following along in a book and it says you have come to an abandoned castle, or you'll make it up on the spot and this is all down to theatre of the mind. You know, you make it all up in your head. Describe the room, but leave it to your party to imagine what they're seeing. The problem there is you quite often get, how big is this room? What is this room made of? What's the thing? One person's imagining a wooden room, one person's imagining a grand hall, and you're depicting a small bedroom, and somebody else is imagining grand banqueting hall of Westminster Abbey. So it's better to have something down. You've got your figures. I've lost my figures. Where are my figures? Okay, you have a room for examples. This was my jars chamber in my dungeon of chalice. This was filled up with little glass jars, and it gave everybody something physical to look at. They picked up all the jars and looked at the bottom of the jars and went, number 24, and then I had a list of what was in number 24 and so forth. It was something physical. And likewise, the underside was the subterranean level filled with water, icy water that was making them ill because they were getting so cold. And it looked like that, and they had to work out where they were. But by these little white dots, these little white smudges, this indicated where there was light coming in into an almost pitch black subterranean dungeon. And they could just see little pools of light. And they knew they had to aim for one of these to get out. And it worked because they were all describing the same thing. You can make a paper map, print it out. This was the next section, and there's a map. You can very clearly see where you're going. That section there is the chamber of jars. And you could see physical walls, but you couldn't identify size. There was no way of indicating how big the thing was. If we said the room was filled up sporadically with a few random jars spread out, and you came in your party, you had a person that was a giant bear and somebody who was a gorn, they'd come in and they'd be like, that's a big jar. These jars are as big as full-size man. But you pick it up and go, it's number 26. 26 is filled up with gold dust. Take as much as you can possibly take and fill up your inventory. It gives you a physical dimension, something that you can actually see and know what it is. And you don't necessarily have to build an entire dungeon. You could quite literally, depending on how imaginative your party are, cut out some bits of XPS foam, throw them down and go, there's a corridor. Your bear person walks in there, step in and you turn. There's a creature at the other end and you have to engage in combat. And that will do for the most part. Of course, you can build it up and make it into a bigger room and a bigger place, and you can have walls that are high. I won't put it across so you can't see. The only way to actually get out, going back is no good because there's a scorpion squid monster behind you. So the only way to get out would probably be climb up the wall to a window up here. So there's your next challenge. You can also do this, which is the take all of the rubbish bits of XPS foam that you did, stick it on a bit of card, cover it in hot glue, paint it white, and suddenly you have a rocky outcrop where the lizard man lives. And your party are at the bottom going, yeah, I don't want to go up there. Let's go round. It's how much commitment you want to put into your game. Is this going to be a long-term thing? Is it going to be a short-term thing? Again, I keep putting stuff down. Hold on. I did this video, I didn't like it, so I've done it again. Hence, everything's been put away. Your pieces of cut out express foam will do for most people. They'll forgive you anything. But you can buy stuff. And you can... These are Temu specials. Just 3D printed blocks. There's your lizard man in there hiding. And you enter through the door and there's a lizard man. Fight him. Fighting. Maybe the only way out this time is up the ladder. These little ladders were test prints on my 3D printer. You can 3D print all of these. You can get millions of files for walls and terrain and things and 3D print them if that's what you've got and you can do. I mean, I'm saying all this, and one of the few people that going to watch this video first is Cross, and Cross makes amazing terrain in a larger scale, and so I'm literally preaching to the choir. So Cross, what am I missing? Put these in. There's our room. Now see, there's a gate which you can't get through, and you come in and you can't get out. You kill the lizard man. The only way out, all you can see is 2 bowls of string, box and a barrel, and somehow you need to get out of the room. You're stuck in the room, you can't get through the gate. The only way would be up through this walkway here. You could probably climb through the window at this point, but oh look, the window's gone. There's your room. It's completely sealed in and no one can get out, and it's way too high to climb out of, even if it's broken. You've created a room. There's no mistaking what's going on in this room. Everyone knows where you are, what's going on. You plot and plan and you move your figures. Obviously you need to climb up and climb out this little culvert up here. Then you can pull up the rope and pull everyone out, and everyone can do their throws and so forth and see how well they do. And that's our entire session to itself. You can buy stuff. You can make your own foam rough versions. You can make cardboard versions. You can make whole scenes with jars and bottles and props, etc. You can make 3-dimensional globes if you so wanted to depict the entire world. Or you can find random kids blocks in a giveaway library, community sharing library thing down the road. And I found this the other day and I looked at it and went, potential. I don't really need it at this point, but you never know. There might be need for. There we go. Entire room made up out of children's building blocks, multiple colours. You're trying to fight off the lizard man, and you entered here and you've got an alleyway out there, but there's a door there, and there's another room to play. The possibilities are endless. We could also just sand these down and repaint them. We could also glue some together so that they actually resemble strips of blocks. Maybe I could stick 3 of them together at a time and you'd end up with pillars and... So there we go. There is a whole plethora of ways in which you can make terrain for your games that you can buy, make, find, steal, however you want to do it. As I said, most of this is being told to people that are far more experienced than me. What am I missing? Let me know. Until next time, see ya. Attempt number 8. If this goes right, this would be the proper one, and we won't have to do all the 7 before.